Aha, there we go.
We're live.
We are live. Sorry, everyone. We had a little technical glitch that had me holding my breath, but thank goodness we got through it. Here we are. Hi, Lisa. Good afternoon. How are you?
Hi, Jade. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. I mean, I have to tell you, I get so excited to do these interviews, discussions, chats, because it gets me to talk to people like you who are, you know that I adore you and everything that you do. So I'm going to get into who you are, what you do.
Okay.
So Lisa Christoffel that joins us today is the managing editor of B2B Writing Success. The B2B world is huge, massive. I do want everybody to know, because it is one of my favorite things, that Lisa started out just like anybody listening as a member. She was in your shoes. So Lisa, not only do I want to talk about the world of B2B, but I also want to talk about how you broke into it, your story, your avenue into it. So let's start right at the beginning. B2B is that kind of like an industry term within us. Can you explain a bit more about what is B2B and then what is B2B copywriting?
Sure. So when you talk about B2B, you talk about any company who is selling products or services to another company. Okay. So for example, like if you go to a spa and you're on tables, or they're using scented oils on you, or any of that kind of stuff, the company who sold that spa equipment, those products to that spa, is a B2B company.
Okay.
Right? So B2B, it just means that business to business. So you're selling, it's from one business to another business. They're selling stuff.
Okay.
And
then the copywriter. And so where does the copywriter come into that?
Yeah. So the copywriter is the writing copy, just like if you were writing to sell this widget to me, except that when you're doing B2B copy, you are selling to whoever at a company is making that buying decision. Okay. And so that actually makes it a little more complex, right? Because it could be the purchasing person, it could be the operations manager, it could be an engineer or a technician, it could be the CEO or the owner. So the person with the buying decision rights at that other company could be in a number of different roles. So B2B copywriting sort of has to consider that when you're writing your copy, that you're selling to a business, but a business doesn't buy things, people buy things.
Yes.
So you need to know who those people are.
But I do think that is a very important point, because often when people hear business to business, they don't consider that it's a person at the other end. Now, they should consider the different role, but just the fact that it is a person should take a bit of the guard down, you know? So then, would you say that when you're writing B2B, it's more about education, like you're educating somebody on whatever you're trying to sell them more than selling it to them? Or how would you describe the persuasive part of B2B?
Right. So you're still using your persuasive techniques just like you would for B2C, but your the kind of persuasion you're doing is more to help them understand how they can either be a hero in their job to their company by buying this product, or to help them understand how this could make their lives easier, make their employees' lives easier, make them more efficient. If you're talking to the owner of a business, how can I spend less money by buying this product because it's going to make me run more efficiently? So you're not talking like fear and passion and stuff like that, but you're still talking about emotion. You're still evoking emotion. It's just emotion that's more associated with business.
Okay. Yeah, I like that though, because it's still benefit orientated then, right?
Absolutely still benefit oriented. No question.
Yeah, so you want to talk about the result that they're going to get by buying this thing from you, or choosing your company because I'm guessing the buying is bigger, right, than B2C, like the decision when it comes to decision making.
It certainly can be. It can be huge, right? If you're buying an ERP system, an enterprise resource system, you're spending tens of millions of dollars and rolling it out to all of your employees. And you certainly want to make sure that you've got the right product, because you're disrupting every department in your company in order to install that product.
Wow.
So the copywriter has to do a really good job of helping that company see what benefits they're going to have, because there's going to be pain before the benefits. So they really need to be convinced that those benefits are worth it.
Okay. So, to J. Anthony Thomas, who said you're late, you're right on time. Don't worry. I want you to send me your questions. We already have a question coming in about getting the first client when you have people competing who's more qualified than you. So let's maybe start with your story, Lisa. What were you doing before you found copywriting?
So I have a degree in quantitative business analysis. So I'm sort of like a business manager, a numbers person, right? And I worked for a Fortune 500 company doing global customer support and global distribution resource planning, all sorts of logistics and things like that for 25 years before I found copywriting.
Okay.
And as a manager, I was buying B2B, the software as a service products. I was buying corporate training programs. I was buying all sorts of IT products and everything. So I was sort of the client. And when I started doing copy, I initially said, no, I don't want to have anything to do with that. And I went after B2C, and I sort of spun my wheels a little bit. And then I got smart and I said, look, all of my network, all of my background, all of my work experience is in corporate training, in corporate services and things like that. So I switched my my niche to more closely align with what I'd been doing for 25 years.
Yeah.
And my business took off.
Wow. So who was your first client? Can you tell us how that happened?
Yeah. Well, so I took a couple of my first real client, because I did take a couple of clients in those, bidding kind of Upworks kind of thing. I had a couple of those.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
But my first real client was really interesting. It was, they're called Young Entrepreneurs Academy. You actually, if you're a fan of, what is it? What's that?
Shark Tank?
Shark Tank, right?
Okay.
If you're a fan of one of the students who went through a program designed by my client won for lacrosse sticks. She designed lacrosse equipment and stuff. But they target, they're a B2B company who provides entrepreneurial training to kids in middle school and high school. And they sell a copyrighted education program to chambers of commerce, Boy Scouts, women's organizations, who then work with the local schools. So it's B2B, and it's contract based, where they had to re-sign these clients over and over on contracts and everything. So the copywriting position was as much client retention and re-signing those clients as it was finding the clients in the first place and inbound. And these guys are paying like $10,000 a year for this product, so it's not an inexpensive product.
Yeah.
But I loved it. It was really wonderful, and that sort of took off from there.
So then let me ask you, because we hear this all the time, that people are burnt out where they are. So they do exactly what you did, and they want to go the complete opposite way. Like, get me away from here. I am not interested in this at all. Did you find writing within the niche that you worked for very different from working for those 25 years in that niche?
Yes. And one thing was, it was because I already knew the language and I was the client in a lot of cases. When I wrote the copy for it, it was as if I was writing to myself, and it felt good to basically try to help myself find the right products that I would have liked to have had when I was in that position. Right. So, so it was, it took me a while to adjust my thinking, to do the B2B side, but it's been steady, decent paying income, and I don't have to work very hard for them to come back and use me again, because they have budgets for marketing and copywriting. And once you start something with them, it's easier for them when they get you in their system to just keep you. And so they keep coming back and keep using you. So it's actually very low stress.
Oh, that's
and lots of fun. Yeah.
Hello, that's awesome. So, if you could describe who the B2B opportunity is for, is there like a writer that you would describe it for? So,
I mean, it can be for any writer.
Okay.
It really, when I do mentoring for AWAI's members as well through COS, and what I usually talk to people about is it really depends on your goals, your income goals.
Okay.
It depends on your timeline, how long you have before you have to start making enough money to support yourself with copywriting. And a few other factors. So for instance, if you are one of those people who wants to make huge royalties and, $1 million a year, B2B is not the place for that. But if you're someone who's looking for a steady 6-figure income, who is able to pay all your bills and have a handful of clients that come back to you year after year, and you're able to work with the people that you want to work with, and you can get some good retainers that let you work 5 or 6 hours a day and make 6 figures, and you're happy with that, B2B is perfect. And the more corporate background, or the more, not even corporate background, but the more work experience you have in the niche that you choose to do the B2B copy in, the quicker you're able to get there, I think. And we're just talking on average, right? Because people can get a home run from their first client, or they could spend some time sort of spinning their wheels. But if you are like me, doing corporate training, and you're looking for clients in corporate training, they're going to see that in your LinkedIn profile that you've worked in that in the past. You're going to be able to speak to them in a language that they understand. You're going to be able to write more effective copy because you're going to already understand what their clients are looking for. So you're more likely to get not a newbie salary from the beginning. You're likely to get a little bit higher because you already have the sort of on-the-job training that somebody who wants to write for that industry but has never worked in it or had a background in it.
Yeah. Okay. I think Steve Sloan, when I spoke about this yesterday, he called it a head start niche, right?
Yeah.
You already have like a bit of a head start in it, so it just makes sense to keep going in that direction.
And it really impacts the quickness of your ability to get clients and the fees that you can charge sort of out of the gate.
Okay, I like that. So then let me play devil's advocate and ask you a bit of like a difficult question. If I do not have any experience in anything B2B related, is it still a good field for somebody that's the opportunity seems appealing and they would like to go that route? Or do you think that they should find another option?
No, you absolutely can. So first of all, if you like computers and IT, right? You might have never worked there, but you use a lot of computer software. You could go after B2B software as a service industry, which is a very large industry. If you enjoy tech and enjoy that kind of stuff, you don't have to have ever worked in it. You don't have to have been a systems admin or anything like that. And you can do good work for them and really enjoy it. Let's say that you've been involved in health and fitness forever, but you don't like the competitiveness of the B2C part of that industry. You could write for the B2B part of that industry, where you're writing for the companies who are selling products to gyms, who are elliptical machines and stuff, or write for the companies who are selling programs to hospitals or clinics or schools or whatever. So there's certainly no requirement, depending on the B2B niche you pick. Now, if you want to write for manufacturing, you probably have to have some understanding of manufacturing in order to write, or it'll take you quite a while. But there are a whole ton of B2B niches that you do not have to have a working background in. As long as you have an interest in them and you're familiar with even the B2C part of what that industry was.
You know, it's so funny you say that, because I totally spaced out and blanked on Pam Foster, that is the director of training at AWAI. She went into B2B for pets, like vets, because of the passion for, animals. So it's like, you would not think that a passion for animals could lead to B2B writing, but where the passion is, there's a lot of
and she sells like vet tech and vet equipment and stuff like that. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, so we have a few questions that came in. Let's see. If you're trying to figure out what type of writing to offer when starting out, what would you recommend? Oh, okay, so specialties when it comes to writing for people that are starting out, recommendations.
Yeah. So again, it kind of depends on your goals and how quickly you want to get up and running. I recommend that you stay as close to your personal background and your experience as possible when you're starting, because if you think about learning, right, you're already learning copywriting. So if you're learning copywriting and learning the niche in which you're writing, then that's two things that you have to sort of get right and learn. But if you already understand the niche in which you're writing and all you're doing is picking up the copywriting piece of it, it's a much easier path for you. Okay.
And then wouldn't you say something like emails or social media? I don't know how much social media there is in B2B, but everybody is like writing emails every day. So that's like a good, whatever you're doing on the regular, right? Is a good transition.
Yeah, whatever you do. So if you also can specialize in services, right? So for example, if you love to talk to people and interview them and find out, how things work or how they were able to succeed, case studies is a great place to specialize in a service. And then you may pick sort of a broader B2B niche to sell your case studies to. But I still recommend some sort of an industry niche, only because it makes your marketing so much easier. So you don't have to. I write in B2C, I write in B2B, I write in a ton of different customers, clients, and niches, but my marketing is all focused on education and training. So it's really difficult to have a scattered marketing message. So when you're picking your niche, you really need to think about how you're going to tell people what you do.
Okay, I like that. And there was a question from Beth about LinkedIn. Melissa is in the background. Melissa, if you could send Beth, we have a full Inside AWAI on LinkedIn and how to set that up, especially for what Lisa is talking about now. So Lisa, you would say then that B2B is a niche, but you should refine it further. That's kind of what you're saying to people, right? Go deeper than just B2B.
Yes. I mean, you can do either white papers or case studies as a service and use sort of a broad B2B niche. But again, you're still going to have to be found, right? You're still going to have to figure out your marketing message. So if you can refine it at all, you don't want to make the niche so small that you only have 3 companies, that could hire you, but you want to make the niche as defined enough as you can, so that people will get to you.
Yes. I like that a lot. Ivan said you should seek writers who need your writing that comes naturally. That way you won't struggle. 1,000%. As easy as you can make this for yourself as possible, that is what you're
trying
to
do. No question.
So back to the question about client getting. Let's talk a bit about what you manage, B2B Writing Success,
Yeah.
which is a subscription. You would say subscription, right?
It's a subscription membership site, training site. Yes.
Okay. So do you get into getting clients within that realm of B2B Writing Success?
Absolutely. So if you join B2B Writing Success, we have what we call level 1, level 2, and level 3 in there.
Okay.
And level 1 content and roadmaps and everything is really targeted to people who are just starting and needing to understand sort of soup to nuts. How do I do this thing, right? How do I learn copywriting? How do I set up my business? How do I figure out how to bring my first client on? And we have, I don't know, 6 or 7 years of historical content in there, webinars, and every week, we add 3 to 4 new pieces of content to help you. And most of it is geared to that level 1, although not all of it.
Yeah.
Because they're the people who need the most help. Level 2 are people who've been doing some copywriting. They've had a few clients and things like that, but they really want to take their business to the next level. And we've got a whole ton of content, roadmaps, help for them to figure out how to take their business to the next level. And then level 3 is for people who are working full-time as a copywriter and are enjoying their business, but they want to go further yet. And so you can find pretty much everything in B2B Writing Success in terms of content, web training kind of webinars, roadmaps that really walk you through, like we have a roadmap ourselves for LinkedIn where you can, it walks you through how to set up a LinkedIn profile that attracts B2B clients and things like that. And a lot of our content is focused on getting clients because that's what our members want. So our content is driven by what members are asking for, and they're asking for how to get clients.
Can I put you on the spot for just 1 second? Lisa didn't know I was going to ask her this, but can you tell us then, from what you've seen within your own experience and within all the articles that come through you, do you have like one favorite client getting method or client getting way or favorite tip when it comes to getting clients? And let's say for level 1.
So I do, as long as you've got some background or network. So my favorite way to get clients, and I think Ed Gandia sort of talks about this with his warm email concept, is use your network, right? If you're writing in an area where you have a background and have experience, you've got a network. Even if you don't know the hiring manager at company A, you know somebody who works there who can get you to the hiring manager at company A. So leveraging your network is probably the most effective way to get clients. But obviously not everybody has a network. So while that's my favorite, that's the one I use most of the time. It's certainly not available to everybody.
And I would think something small like updating your LinkedIn profile, that goes literally to your network like that, right? Everybody gets the
absolutely.
So you mentioned the content that is within B2B Writing Success. Can you tell us a bit about who writes it, who supplies it, who's talking to the people that have joined?
Sure. Our members are some of the people who write it. And AWAI members in general who are B2B focused write the articles for the most part. And they are sharing their stories essentially. It's sort of a been there, done that, right? I did this and I was successful. So I'm going to help you. I'm going to share with you how I was successful and what my best advice is. And they're pretty much all of our authors are working copywriters. So they are talking about, let's say their clients are starting to use more video. They're writing articles for us on how to sell video to our clients, how to do videos better, how to market videos and everything, or how to convince your client that they will do better with videos. So we have all sorts of content based on what's going on right now and what's working right now for B2B copywriters and their clients.
So then I'm gonna take a guess and say that the best way to, if somebody's even interested in writing for B2B Writing Success, the best first step is to become a member of the subscription, correct?
Absolutely. And I'll share, we actually have opportunities that we do for writing if you're a member. So
Okay.
we have, for example, a monthly book club where we read, we pick a book every month and we read it. And then people will send me, members will send me ideas for articles based on what they've learned in that book, how they're going to do their business differently, maybe a new marketing technique they're going to use, new copywriting technique. They send me an article proposal and we pay them $100 for just participating in our book club and writing an article about what they learned. We also have coming up, which I'm just rolling out, it's not out yet, 30-day challenges for the next 13 months.
Wow.
Where we're going to have, so we'll start in December, and we're going to be writing content that's evergreen. It can be used outside the current, but if you follow the articles now and you do the challenges that are in these 30-day challenges, we'll have prizes. We'll have everything from some gift cards to a month of mentoring with me to all sorts of different things. We're brainstorming what we're going to do, but those are all benefits of membership. We also have I have a coaching hour on Facebook every single week.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's part of the membership. So you have resources and content on your own that you can do.
Okay.
And then you have access to me and other experts in our Facebook groups and everything. Steve Slonway is regularly in
That's awesome.
our Facebook groups, answering questions and things like that. So it's sort of a mentored kind of help site for people who really want to make a go of B2B copywriting. And I think it's a great opportunity.
And you know what I love about that even more? It's to me, it's not even just about the winning, but because I know that instills confidence. But don't you find that the momentum that writing, like with something like a 30-day challenge, builds that muscle that it's getting, that it propels people forward faster, even if they're not winning that number one prize?
Absolutely. It absolutely does. And it's a habit, right? So you start to take those, when you take those daily actions and do those daily things, right? You get into a habit of doing that. And it just makes everything flow smoothly from there so that you get your business up and running much, much more quickly.
And I know that, you know, being a solopreneur, as many people call it, which a copywriter is for the most part, can be very isolating. And you guys have built up an amazing, you know, community, everything that you're speaking of. And I'm going to get a lot of trouble for saying this, but I feel like the B2B community and people just seem so nice for some reason. I don't know what it is. You know, I don't know if it's because you guys have so much opportunity that there's like you're not worried about anything, but everybody's just so nice. Like,
I think everybody across the board is very nice, but I would agree with you because B2B copywriters are all sort of, we may not all have the exact same goals. We all have very, very similar goals though, because you go into B2B copywriting, maybe because you love to write, but you don't want to write more hypey kind of stuff. You may not want to write those gigantic long sales letters, but you love writing emails and you love writing case studies and stuff like that.
yeah.
And you generally are looking for that sort of 6-figure income kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you're not looking to knock it out of the park with $1 million, but you're looking for a steady, good paying job that will allow you to do all the other things in your life you want to do. And I think when people have sort of similar goals, it connects you a little more and makes you, it just bridges a lot of things.
Yeah, and as I thought, I got flack for it, and I wanted to say I don't mean the membership. I just mean there's just something with the the masters of
Yes.
B2B copywriting, that they're just so
Yes.
approachable and nice and
Oh
friendly.
my God, like Gordon and Steve, and
Yes.
they are amazingly helpful, amazingly knowledgeable, and really personable, very easy to
Yes.
talk to. Like I said, I know Steve specifically is in the Facebook groups talking to
Yes.
people and answering things and stuff. So it is
Yeah.
all it's a great community.
So then let me also ask one more thing, because we've kind of been frivolously talking about like case studies, and we mentioned email. Can you just give us a few writing types that are more synonymous with B2B? So like if I go into B2B
Yeah.
and then I choose my industry within there, what types of writing can I expect to do when it comes to B2B?
So you are certainly going to be doing web copywriting,
Okay.
like web pages and things like that. You are likely almost certainly going to do email.
Okay.
And then quite often, if you are doing right by your clients, case studies and white papers are just really great tools. So if you think about, Steve uses this example in his training, and I think it's great.
Okay.
If you're selling a fleet of forklift trucks to a client, right? There is a huge amount of copy, different kinds of copy that is needed. And so you could be doing brochures, you could be doing website pages, you could be doing, honestly, you could be doing downloadable ebooks, you could be doing case studies, white papers, emails I mentioned. I'm sure I'm forgetting a ton of things. Newsletters, if you're looking at smaller, like smaller sort of B2B places, newsletters and things. It runs the gamut. You're not going to probably write a long form sales letter.
Okay.
But most of the other types of copy are available. You will do social media posts. You will potentially create LinkedIn ads and Facebook ads and things like that. So that's all part of B2B.
And then, so Chris had a question. Do you all have any templates with B2B Writing Success available to members?
So there are some templates. I'm going to have to find the link for that and get that out to you. Can we post it when we post this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can put it in the comment section of this. So those are public, so they can take a look at that before they decide to sign up, or are they private?
No, they would be behind the firewall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so yeah, that is something to bear in mind when we share this. I don't see any other questions, but I mean, Lisa, I love speaking to you. I think you know that. And if anybody has any more questions, feel sure to post them in here, and we can get Lisa's input, or we can be sure to answer you.
Yep.
Otherwise, I hope that they see you on your Facebook Live or on your coaching within the group.
Yep. I coach every Wednesday. Sometimes it's during the day, sometimes it's in the evening, but every Wednesday I'll be online in the Facebook group.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lisa, and thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Take care.